later this evening. It should be a fantastic day for Alabama, we think.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back into Locked On Bama, AHSA Radio Network's Luke Robinson. That's me. Alabama internet legend Jimmy Stein. That's him. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. We'll tell you about Monarch Money in just a little bit. Want to thank you every day for being here every day. Thank you, newbies, for being here today. And thanks, everybody, for making us your first listen every single day. You guys are the absolute best. Jimmy, this afternoon or evening, I guess, depending, EJ Crowell will be committing at 5 o'clock. And then Max Sutter will be committing at 7.
Sutter, confirmed. I'm going the other way.
Confirmed. Sutter.
Confirmed. You were right. It's Sutter. Confirmed. And Crowell. Confirmed.
I know Crowell is confirmed. I got that
confirmed
from various sources.
Yep.
But I kept saying Sutter makes no sense. But you convinced me.
Well, Bruce Sutter said Sutter. I was going with my main man, Major League Hall of Famer, Bruce Sutter. It's Sutter.
Well, my wife's middle name is Mowry. How would you spell that?
M-O-W.
I mean, pronounce that.
Say it. M-O-W.
M-O-W-R-Y.
Maori.
But they say Maury.
They say Maury.
Yeah,
okay.
Like Maury Povich. I'm like, what?
Okay.
That's not. If that's what you want to call yourself, that's fine. Spell it a different way so we all get it. Anyway, all right. So we feel like EJ Crowell.
Yep.
We feel like Mac Sutter will be committing to Alabama.
Yep.
It's not completely set in stone on the Crowell side. I mean, there is some optimism from Texas. This could be all drama created, all that stuff. But while I would still say 95% chance he picks Bama, there's a 5% out there. You know, the Dallas Mavericks weren't supposed to win the NBA lottery either. They did, you know?
Yeah, I don't think it's 100% with Xavier, EJ. I don't think it's 100%. I think it's highly likely it's Alabama. And insofar as our predictions here, we're both going Alabama, and I do believe it will be Alabama. I'm just saying I'm not 100% sure, but Texas is hard to beat. In this modern time, they are hard to beat. He is their highest priority running back. They were trying to sign an in-state back that's rated similarly to EJ. That was their top priority. They lost him. They lost him to their rival. So they have doubled up efforts on Crowell. He is their highest priority at running back, just like he's Alabama's highest priority at running back. So Texas is tough to beat here. Heck, I've even comped the kid to Dejon Robinson. That's who he reminds me of as a player. But I think this is Alabama. I think childhood favorite wins out here. I think this is where he's always wanted to play. He's got a great relationship with Coach G, Robert Gillespie. So I like Alabama. Sutter is also, he's been Alabama's number one tight end from the jump. Good fit. I think he's got a chance to be really good, Luke. And obviously we'll talk about them in depth this afternoon as they commit, because we'll probably be right back here live post commitments.
Yeah, we're going to do live post commitment shows either way, no matter where they choose. And I feel like either way, it should get a lot of views, because especially if Crowell
the other way
commits to Texas, people will want to hate watch us. They will also want to mock us, and there will be Bama fans that just want to vent. So I'm not pulling for him to pick Texas.
Spoiler alert.
I'm not, but I'm just telling you, we'll probably get more viewers if he picks Texas.
Spoiler alert, we got higher ratings after the Vanderbilt loss than we did the South Florida win.
Monster. Not close. Okay, so we'll talk about those two guys later. I also want to talk about some of the guys that have gotten crystal ball to Alabama here recently. I mean, we've talked about Brian Williams before. I don't know that we need to dive into him so much because we got time. He's going to commit on July 1st. And that's not too terribly far away, but he will commit on July 1st. That's another wide receiver out of Florida. But another guy that was crystal balled to Alabama, I'm going to mention these two. Zay Hall, who is a linebacker from Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa.
That's
so he's
tomorrow.
right there.
That's Friday.
I mean, like, I don't even know how they handle his. I mean, they should probably say, "Hey, why don't you just go to the Birmingham airport and then come back?" So it feels like you visit. But he's been crystal balled to Alabama. 6'1", 230 pounds. Is down to Bama and Virginia Tech. I feel like this is a value recruit. That's what this is not somebody, in my opinion, that's going to come in and set the world on fire. But I do believe he is going to be a contributor down the road. He is a 3-star. Then there's Owen Cabell, who is a wide receiver out of Tennessee. He really lit up some faces when he in his 40 times. Looked really good. He averaged 23 yards a catch almost. Last year.
My thing with those two is I know they're 3 stars. I know they're not going to move the meter with a lot of people because they just see those 3 stars next to their name. And I agree. I don't think these two will have the opportunity to move up like some others. I think they're just sort of 3 stars to stay. But here's the thing about that, and we're going to talk a lot about 3 stars on this show. I'm a measurables guy, and by that meaning, I've been working to evaluate players for a long time. It's something I enjoy doing. Measurables are huge. There's a reason, the NFL is the biggest think tank of football in the world. There's a reason the NFL spends millions of dollars, on putting on that NFL combine and then getting on planes and flying to every pro day. They don't play football in Indianapolis. They don't play football on pro day. They're measuring these kids and what they do, or these players and all that they do. So it's vitally important to the NFL. It would be ridiculous to say it shouldn't be vitally important to college football. I'm a measurables guy. Here's the deal. Cabell is 6'3", 200 pounds, and runs a verified 4.440. Those are all-star measurables. Those are first-round NFL measurables. First round. I mean, there are first-round picks with those measurables in the NFL. And then you're like, well, okay, so maybe he's big and fast. He must not be able to play. Luke just told you 23 yards of reception. He had almost 1,000 yards his junior year. It almost boggles the mind that he's a 3-star. So I don't even look at him that way. I look at him like, wow, big, fast, and he can play. So why not? Then just throw in the gravy here because he's a 3-star. He's inexpensive, so you can fit him in alongside C.D. Morgan, who's a 5-star and kind of pricey, right? And then Zay Hall, same thing. Measured at Alabama, nearly 6'2". He's a shade under 6'2", 230, runs a 4.5. That's faster than Reuben Foster, and he's going to be playing the same position. So you look at his production at Hillcrest, which, by the way, plays a really tough schedule. Hillcrest plays some of the better teams in the state every year, and he's a really highly productive player there. Goes to Alabama and has measurables the equal or better than all these 5 stars and 4 stars we fawn over. So I know they're 3 stars. I get that. I know they're not going to move the meter with a lot of people. I know people are saying this is sunshine or whatever it is y'all say when you think I go. I'm telling you these facts. These measurables are facts. And now, does this mean because they have great measurables, they're going to be great players? No, not every player that lights up the NFL Combine proves to be a great NFL player because they're not playing the sport of football when you're measuring them. But measurables are a vital part of the evaluation process, and both Zay Hall and Owen Cabell hit it out of the park when it comes to evaluations. It comes to measurables.
You know who else just got excited by you're talking about all the measurables, and that is Auburn fans who just picked up a commitment from that 8'13", 722,000-pound offensive lineman. They're like, Jimmy loves him.
I haven't seen a shuttle time yet. Show me the shuttle time.
I'll say this.
Show me the shuttle time.
There were a lot of people that agreed with you that Saban would have taken a chance on that kid. And
Depends.
I don't know. I mean, maybe, I guess
It depends.
It depends. A lot depends, but
Not on size alone. 6'7", 370, that's going to get his attention, but you're going to have some sort of measurable, some verified measurable. What does he run the 40 in? What's his shuttle like? Show me film of him moving his feet. I mean, I do agree with the fact he hasn't played football. Look, football is a game, it's a skill, but it's also not rocket surgery. Football's, the most complex. We're not asking him to coach, call an offense, draw up plays. I mean, you don't have to have a 200 IQ to play the game itself. I think too much is made of he hasn't played football. I do think, obviously, that means, hey, he's going to redshirt. He's going to redshirt. It's going to take a hot minute. He's a project for sure. But to me, size and speed. I mean, size and speed. That's why the NFL holds this combine. But we don't know anything about that guy's speed. All we know is he's big. He's a WWE guy.
Well, he's on a different time zone, so the speed could be screwed up anyway. Okay, let me tell everybody about Rugiet. Okay, guys, you've probably heard of Viagra, Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them. Who knows? But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rugiet Ready. Rugiet Ready is the next-gen prescription treatment designed to amplify arousal in the brain and boost blood flow. Unlike the usual pills that can take hours, Rugiet's 3-in-1 formula dissolves under your tongue and kicks in fast, on average in 15 minutes. Effects can last up to 36 hours, so you can stay confident and in control when the moment is right. If traditional options haven't worked, Rugiet might be the answer. Over 150,000 men have already made the switch, y'all. So head to Rugiet.com/LockedOnCollege and use code LockedOnCollege to get 15% off today. That's Rugiet.com/LockedOnCollege, Rugiet.com/LockedOnCollege, and use promo code LockedOnCollege for 15% off. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. Please visit the Rugiet website for full safety information.
Boy, stuff lasts 36 hours. That seems
Well,
like a long time.
I was going to also say, usually we tell people to try a sponsor and then tell us about it. Y'all can keep this to yourself.
36 hours. I mean, that sounds great and all, but gosh, I mean, what's on TV? I mean, I got things to do.
There's so many jokes. I mean, I'm having a headache. Okay. So, Jimmy, somebody asked.
That's what she said.
after 36 hours. All right. So somebody asked us, what would be a good idea for a show is to talk about some of the 3 stars in the past. Now, look, disclaimer, asterisks, whatever you want to say. Jimmy and I are star gazers. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
We believe that if you have more 5 and 4 stars, you will traditionally, usually, probably almost every time beat those that don't. Now, of course, there are the occasional Bama Vanderbilt upsets. Of course there are. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I don't think it's any secret and any coincidence that the teams that have recruited the best over the last X amount of years have also been those that have been competing for national championships. Now, if you want to say something like, well, what about Boise State? Okay, Boise State is a different animal altogether because they don't play a lot of teams that are loaded with 4 and 5 stars all the time. So it's a little different. But that being said, what I hate, Jimmy, is like, somebody, they were talking about it yesterday on Sirius XM, the college, I can't remember which college show, but one of the guys was talking about, I won an SEC championship, and it feels like if I win it now, it's not a big deal. And he's like, I hate that. Sort of like being ranked a 3-star, people look at it like, 3-star. let me tell you something. However many 3-stars there are 50 times that many kids out there who have no ranking. Yep. So if you are a 3-star, you are like in a rare air. Now, I mean, of course, 5 stars, the rarest of rare air. You're in a different atmosphere. But if and 4 stars too, but 3 stars to even be ranked is such an accomplishment. So we are not poo-pooing 3 stars here at Locked On Bama. And in fact, I thought it'd be good to, well, somebody suggested this. Go back and look at some of the 3 stars of late and just see. And I'm going to start with the 2023 class because it's not fair to start with like 2024. They only had 1 year in the system. And then 2025, we don't know what they're bringing to the table yet. So there are only 2 3-stars in the
you're going by the On3 industry ranking, correct?
On3 industry, and I'm not counting transfers.
Yep.
Okay, so there are only 2 3-stars in our 2023 class. That's Rock Montgomery and Connor Talty. Talty was probably going to be our kicker this year, right?
Yeah, he's going to be the starting kicker. I'm not sure. Kick. Almost all kickers are 3 stars or less. Almost all. But almost.
And then Rock Montgomery,
he's doing pretty well.
I'd say he's doing pretty well. Is he scheduled to start this year? No. But could he start next year? I think could he play this year? Yeah.
Yeah, he could even his name came up in a discussion I was having just the other day about who's going to be the starting center next year. I'm not saying it's Rock Montgomery. I'm saying don't rule him out. Yeah. I mean, don't rule out Rock Montgomery out of becoming a starter at Alabama. It's also kind of crazy to me that we call Rock Montgomery a 3-star, and apparently is a 3-star by the On3 industry. He's a kid. He's a 300-pound plus offensive lineman that could have gone to Georgia or Alabama, and he's a 3-star. I mean, good player, and he's doing well. Potential future starter at Alabama.
All right, so then I go to the 2022 class. Again, only 2 3-stars, man. Our recruiting has been pretty out of bounds. But Danny Lewis, who will play a lot this year.
Starter.
Yeah.
Starter.
And then Miles Kitselman, who ultimately transferred, but he's at Tennessee and starting for them.
All-star starter. Not just a starter, but Miles Kitselman, for those that don't follow Tennessee football or nationally, Miles Kitselman is a nationally ranked tight end and an NFL prospect, and developed into a really good player. He just didn't feel like he was getting an opportunity at Alabama, and went to Tennessee, and he's frankly lit it up there. He's good.
Okay. Again, we come back to 2021, 2 3-stars for Alabama. Robbie Ootst, who just got drafted.
5th round pick, Seattle Seahawks.
And Tim Keenan, who could be a first-team All-American.
Arguably the best nose guard in America. He's probably not, but he's in the conversation.
Okay. I mean, this is really, and I'm doing this in real time because we don't do research here at Locked On Bama. And so I'm just as surprised as the rest of you. Now, I get to 2020, and I see Ronald Williams. I don't think he finished with the team. I don't remember him at all.
He transferred out. He's a corner, transferred out, ended up at Michigan State, and was a starter. Played kind of start. Was he great? No. I think he probably was a 3-star, ended up a 3-star, but he did transfer out and he did start in Power 4 football for someone else.
Caden Clark.
Yeah, that was quote a bad take. He transferred out, went to Akron, play some there, but that was
from Akron. So then the first thing that came to my mind when this name came up was, remember in Animal House when they were showing the slides of kids they're thinking about offering bids to, and then Flounder came up and everybody threw the beers at the beer cans.
Yeah,
Seth McLaughlin was a 3-star in this class. And I feel like a lot of people just threw beers at their computer screen.
Maybe so, but All-American, multi-year, 3-year starter at the Alabama, Ohio State level. If you even said today that Seth was a 5-star, I don't know that you could argue that he was overrated in the sense of being a 3-year starter at national championship level programs. Good player, obviously. Developed the yips in his final year at Alabama, and that's what he'll be remembered for, which is so unfortunate. To me, it's a little bit like Bill Buckner being remembered for letting that ground ball go between his legs and losing the 86 World Series, and that's all anybody ever remembers about him, despite the fact he had like 3,000 hits. McLaughlin was a really good player. He developed the yips at Alabama, and that's how Alabama fans will remember him. Couldn't make the 2-foot putt all of a sudden.
It's funny how like things like that stick to you. Is like in the second Ace Ventura when he had a translator with him, and Ace Ventura said, "I can't help but notice you just called me the White Devil again," because they've been calling him the White Devil. He's like, "I'm trying to get you not to say it." He goes, "Yeah, but that's how they know you." Like that. Seth McLaughlin with the yips. That's how we know you. I mean, no one. I mean, again, Papanastos. We will never not know him for the shank before the. But I mean, without him, we don't have the greatest play in college football history. That's I'm him.
That's true.
If I'm him, that's what I'm
bringing that up. Hey, if not for me, there would have been no Tua to Smitty. You're welcome.
So,
boy, and he's the biggest fan of that play of all time. He has to be the biggest fan of that play of all time. Because had that not gone well, I hate that for these kids.
Shoot, that would have been awful.
I hate that for these kids. Yeah.
So then you get to 2019, and this is where we'll stop, I guess. I'll stop at 19. The only 3-star in that class, and again, our recruiting was so good, it's mind-boggling. The only 3-star in that class was Will Reichard. All he is the all-time leading scorer in NCAA history.
Yeah. Well, I think this has been a good exercise in showing people, even though there's been so few 3-stars in the past, there's going to be more this year. We talked about why, because of the new system. There's almost certainly going to be more 3-stars. It's not just an Alabama thing. USC has the #1 class in the whole country. They have 10 3-stars already, 10. So there's going to be a lot more 3-stars there used to be, but Alabama's hit rate on them is pretty good, because it's not about the stars, it's about the evaluation. And we already talked about Owen Cabell and Zay Hall's measurables. They don't have 3-star measurables at all. They actually have NFL first-round measurables. So when Alabama gets a 3-star, don't jump to an emphatic conclusion that the kid's never going to be good. It's just wrong. Now, what are the odds? The odds are a little less for a 3-star than they would be a 5-star or 4-star, but they're not non-existent. And at Alabama, they're actually fairly good because we've been blessed with two head coaches who hire great staffs who are expert evaluators. That's their job. Mute.
No doubt about that. We're going to get back into the roster countdown here and just mute. That's how people know me. All right, let's talk about Monarch Money. Ever wish that managing your money was felt easier? With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control of your finances. Monarch Money is more than just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. The one surprising thing that I noticed when I started tracking my spending was like, I'm just spending too much money going out to eat. I need to start eating at home a little bit, and then I can save some cash. And then later on, it's like Dave Ramsey says, you live like nobody else so you can live like nobody else. That's a good motto. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege, all one word, for half off your first year with monarchmoney.com. Roster countdown time, Jimmy, and now it gets fun because it is like a lot of dudes that everybody's excited to see. Not that you're not excited to see the other dudes, but these are dudes that you know have already performed and you expect them to perform even better.
That's right, because we're now just 35 days from the start of fall camp. Can you believe it? 5 weeks from today. We're recording this on Thursday morning, the day Crowell and Sutter will announce their commitments. Can you believe 5 weeks from tonight is the first NFL preseason game? Just 5 weeks.
Where that's going to be the Hall of Fame game. Who is it this year? Do you remember?
It's the Los Angeles Chargers featuring Najee Harris and the Detroit Lions featuring a cornucopia of Alabama dudes like Terrion Arnold. Yeah, Chargers.
I almost want to go to that.
In Canton, Ohio, Chargers Lions.
Almost
5 weeks from right now. So 35. So 5 weeks times 7, 7 weeks times 5. 35 player, number 35. What I'm trying to say here is I almost called him Courtney Upshaw. Yonzae Pierre. Well, I was really messing that up, but
yeah, you were really doing that new math stuff.
I was in my head. Yeah, I wasn't doing the math,
but you were doing Common Core.
And the problem was in my head. I kept going, "Who is it? Who is it? It's Courtney Upshaw. It's Courtney. It's his cousin, Yonzae Pierre, who does remind me of Courtney Upshaw as a player and prospect. He really does. We don't talk about Yonzae enough, but I think because he's not a returning starter, but he's a guy we're going to see a lot of. This is a guy that's going to play substantial snaps in 2025, particularly on third downs. Alabama's got to get better rushing the passer. And for so many of y'all think, okay, that's scheme, that's X's and O's, that's Womack, that's play calls, that's blitzes. No, it's dudes. It's dudes. We got to put more dudes on the field that can get to the quarterback. That's Yonzae Pierre. Physical, big. He's behind Quay Russaw, and I think Quay Russaw is going to have what amounts to a breakout year. But Alabama subs, they play a lot of guys. The twos play a ton. The twos play a ton at this spot because sometimes when it's 3rd and 8, you can put two wolves on the field. It's very helpful if you have, imagine Russaw on one edge and Pierre on the other, or even throw in a Justin Hill or Noah Carter. So Yonzae, physical, gets to the quarterback. You're going to see a ton of him. Big time recruit. I'm not saying he's living up to whatever his status was as a prospect, but he's on his way to doing that. Good player. Very excited about what his career holds at Alabama, but we're going to see a lot of Yonzae Pierre this fall.
By the way, he was a 5-star. He ended up being a 5-star. Okay. I'd forgotten that, but he did. I
wasn't sure. I wasn't sure when I said his prospect status. I wanted to say it was a 5-star, but I didn't want to be wrong.
He wasn't Ryan Williams 5-star across the board.
Not all 5-stars are the same, right? Yeah. Not all 5-star. That's why on 3, and I thought one of the best things on 3 did was invented that 5-star plus. I used to kind of jokingly refer to him as 6 stars. And what I mean is the guy at on 3, you're a 5-star plus if every service ranks you 5 stars. If you're a 5-star on every service, you're a 5-star plus. Now, I don't think Yonzae Pierre is in 5-star plus territory, but good prospect and living up to it. This is I think this is Yonzae's year 3, right?
Yeah.
Year 3 for him. Hey, it's breakout time. And he is. I think he's on track. But number 34 is. Hang
on. I've got to make a comment. I just thought about this.
Sure.
I could see you in the on 3 meetings now going, and it's like a something about Mary kind of situation. Remember when the guy was like, hey, you've heard of 7-minute abs? I've come up with 6-minute abs. And he's like, well, what if somebody invents 5-minute abs? He goes, what are you, stupid? and I can see you now going, hey guys, I got it. What if we just, instead of 5-star plus, why don't we call them 6 stars? They're like, well, who invited this moron?
That is sort of what happened. At those meetings I was not included on, but at those meetings I was not included on for good reason. But no, I've been saying, and see, the thing is, I'd been saying 6-star for a long time, but I like 5-star plus. I still kind of preferred 6-star. I'm not there anymore. I can criticize. Should have gone with 6-star.
The guy said, remember they were riding in the car and the guy said, hey, what are you talking about 5-minute abs? What kind of moron would do that? Why don't you step into my office? And the guy was like, what? He goes, step into my office. They were driving down the road. He goes, what are you? Okay. He goes, why? He goes, because you're fired. All right, go with number 34. That's something about Mary is still good.
Speaking of 5-star plus, Dejon Lee. What a spring this guy had. What a spring. And I would say I didn't see it coming. I mean, of course, we know what kind of prospect he is, but I wouldn't have guessed before the spring that he would end the spring as the 3rd cornerback. But that's exactly what happened. He ended his first spring as the 3rd cornerback. Dejon Lee is, by the way, the highest ranked true freshman in our rankings. Of all the true freshmen, he's the highest ranked at 34. And if you don't think the 3rd corner plays a lot of snaps, I've been watching last season and a lot of things stand out to me when I rewatch a season. Here's one of the number 1 things that stand out to me. The 3rd cornerback plays a ton. I'm at a point in the season where the 3rd cornerback is Jalen Mbakwe. He's out there all the time. And that's where we're going to see Dejon Lee. He's going to play nearly starter snaps. I might even have him underranked at 34, although I think once we get into the numbers, you'll go, well, I'm not sure you can put him in front of this guy or that guy. But he's going to play a ton. He was fantastic this spring. The NFL scouts are going to love this guy. I had my doubts that he would stick a corner because of pure size. Like, guys that big just don't play corner. He does. He does. He's a freak in the most flattering form of the word. Ball skills and length. You're going to see a ton of Dejon. The third corner should have been Cam Calhoun. Heck, in my opinion, it should have been Mbakwe. He should have stayed at corner. That's just my opinion. And hopefully, I would love for Mbakwe to prove me wrong there. But I think Dejon Lee is just next level. And we've had Kool-Aid recently. We've had Terrion recently. Now we got two more potential first-round corners, in my opinion, in Damani and Zabian. Dejon Lee has abilities that none of those guys have. So that just shows how freakishly gifted this kid is. I couldn't be more excited. Buy stock now. Buy stock now, or the train has left the station. Mute again. Boy, 2-in-1 show, but that's how they know you.
We could do a meme coin or something like Dejon coin, you know, and I bet you we could do well. So anyway, all right. We listen. Hey, everybody, roughly 5 o'clock. Hopefully you'll join us, and hopefully we'll be in a good mood. So we're going to be live about 5 o'clock. We're going to be live about 7:45. So until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll tide.